Good afternoon. It's Wednesday, so it's time for my midweek pickup. This week I wanted to talk about the things that are going on in Texas. Of course, we have another senseless death at the hands of police officers again. And even though they're trying to rule it as a suicide, I'm not really buying that. So, you know, don't take what I'm saying out of context or whatever. It's just how I feel. But I want to talk about Miss Bland and the way society has been, I guess, brainwashed, if you will, about how we are supposed to act upon getting pulled over and the things that we're supposed to say and not say or whatever the case may be. But first off, I wanted to say, my prayers are with Miss Sandra Bland's family and everything. I know this is a very hard time, and I know that it's so many people that are discussing this with them, and they're probably tired of kind of hearing about it and everything, but it's something that they're going to have to go through. So, I just want to, keep them uplifted in prayer because it's going to be a hard time and it's going to be something hard to get through. The dash cam video was released this week, and yes, things did get a little escalated rather quickly. But what's funny to me about it is the way that people in society are trying to coach us in what we are to say and what we're not to say when we get pulled over. And by we, I do mean Black America or any minority at that matter. We're supposed to act a different way than everybody else is supposed to act. And it's on the news. It's they're calling it knowing your rights or whatever, but it's really kind of, I guess they're trying to educate us on the way that we're supposed to handle ourselves when we're pulled over, so we will not give the cop any extra, I guess you can call it, motivation to arrest us or beat us or take us to jail or whatever the case may be. But from what I'm hearing is a lot of people are saying, it could have went a complete different way, and they're trying to pretend like, that it's Miss Bland's fault that she got arrested or whatever. But it really isn't. You can see in the dash cam video, the cop, he might not have been on a racist quest per se, but he did, you can kind of tell that he felt like his badge was being disrespected. So once he felt that way, then he kind of took it to the next level with Miss Bland or whatever. And a lot of people are trying to paint her as, she was depressed and, that's why she took her life or whatever. But if you're looking at the dash cam video and see and know the reason why she was out here, which was to start a new job and everything, and to raise awareness to certain things that are going on in the community. This didn't seem like a person who was suffering from depression. So, usually when something like this happens and somebody's life has ended and it's trying to be covered up as to something that it wasn't, that's when you usually hear the media say, oh, this person was depressed or something, or whatever the case may be, which is completely stupid. Because to me, I mean, if you are arrested and you're in jail, there should not be any tools that would be in the jail cell with you that will help you take your own life if you're going down that path. I'm not saying Ms. Bland did, but I'm just saying there should not be anything around you where you can cause harm to yourself. So it almost seems like it was kind of planted there to, say, hey, this is what happened or whatever. But my thing is that I'm very tired of, and I call it the slave mentality. They try and tell us, we have to say yes sir and no sir, and make sure that we aren't acting suspicious. I know how that can be taken, but like, whose call is it really to say that you're acting suspicious? It's not going to be your call. It's going to be the officer that's with you at that point in time. So it's like a lose-lose situation. I've been in situations before where, and I've done this purposely, where I tried to keep the cooler head the whole time, but me keeping the cooler head and being a little bit educated more so from what I would have been in a previous encounter, that pisses them off. It makes them mad. So, then you get things like, especially if you're telling them, you're recording everything or whatever, and they know that you can use that against them, and they have to let you go. Then you get to the point to where they don't want to give you badge numbers. They don't want you to know their name. It's just a lot of corruption going on. And really in America right now, I don't think that there should be any room to breathe for any police officers doing anything that's out of the ordinary. There's been too many wrongful deaths, and aside of Miss Bland's situation, but there's been so many downright murders in the streets, and these officers get off, or they get paid vacation, and then once the media kind of, the story kind of goes away 2 months later, they're back on the beat, and they're, either doing it again, or it becomes a pattern or something. It is important for us to know our rights and to know the laws and everything. But with that being said, that does not mean that we have to belittle ourselves and dumb ourselves down in a situation to where when we are pulled over, we have to get with the yes sir and no sir, and I wasn't doing this, and all the slave mentality, like you're talking to massa, if you will, and that's really kind of what the situation is in every situation when it goes like this. They want you to respect them. They want you to fear them in a certain aspect. And then they're going to push you to either do something that you're not supposed to, or going to push you and put your back against the wall, to where they feel like they have no choice but to either arrest you, assault you, beat you up. He even told her on the dash cam video that he was ready to light her up, and to me, this lady was in the car still. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would that even come to mind? Why would you even say anything like that? She's already, complying with you or whatever. You asked her to get out the car for no reason at all. But it's just the whole principle behind the situation. Glitches in the video, makes no sense. It's a lot to the story that makes no sense. But I want us to be aware and to always know and be ready, especially when we are pulled over or whatever the case may be. Be ready. Make sure you have something where you can record, or you're on the phone with somebody who can hear it and know what's going on, because now we're at the point to where they always say that they have to do what they have to do in order to protect themselves. Well, we have to do the same thing. And if not, then we're going to be taken advantage of. We're going to be wrongfully arrested. We're going to be beat and possibly killed. Our name is going to steadily get drugged through the mud, while they are going to pretend like, hey, I'm just doing my job or whatever, which you're really not just doing your job. But with all that being said, I just want to, let you know, just be careful, man. It's a dangerous time that we're living in right now, And when you can't trust the people who are supposed to be there to protect and serve or whatever, you have a real issue that you're dealing with. So, like I always say, I'm not just doing this for other people to hear or whatever. I'm also doing this for myself. This is my therapy. This is how I get things off my mind that's on my mind. And, always put God first, put your family second. Everything else will follow. But again, and I've said this in many other midweek pickups, make sure that you are aware at all times. Make sure that you are ready and you are prepared, because if you're not, then you're going to get put in a situation where you either can't get out of, or a situation where your family's going to have to try and get you out of. And especially with the people who are supposed to protect and serve, that's something that we should not be going through in society. Look for the real criminals. Do your job that way. Stop trying to arrest people because they didn't have their signal on or whatever, or because you feel like you were being disrespected or whatever the case may be, because somebody's sitting inside their car and they won't put a cigarette out. But that could be an endangerment to you and that person. I mean, the excuses are completely ridiculous, and it's getting pretty old. So with that being said, I'll see y'all next week. Stay encouraged. Like I said, put God first, family second, everything else will follow. I'll see y'all next week.